Good morning and God bless you. It is that time for our morning meditations. I'm Pastor W. Lonnie Herndon, and I am so grateful to the men and women of God that get an opportunity to speak into our lives as our day begins. Let's get ready to hear a word from the Lord for our morning meditations. Be blessed.
Good morning and welcome to Compassion's morning meditation. I am Pastor Kenneth Blair, and this morning I will be focusing on Jeremiah 32, verse 17. And it reads, O sovereign Lord, you made the heavens and the earth by your strong hand and powerful arm. Nothing is too hard for you. Just for a subject this morning, our God can handle anything. Jeremiah 32 starts by giving us some background of what is happening at the time. Jeremiah was incarcerated because he was telling the king a message of judgment that the king did not want to hear. Please understand, when you are delivering a true message of God, and it's not the name, and it's not to claim, and it's not to reach up and grab it, you can expect treatment that is not favorable, for you will suffer for the message of Christ. Chapter 32 is to help us understand the discouraging place that Jeremiah is in right now. He has been ministering, delivering unpopular messages to people who oppose his message on every side. And to make matters worse, Jeremiah is now in a prison in a city surrounded by his enemies. Jeremiah was instructed to buy the land, even though the Babylonians would soon conquer Judea, and the law of ownership would no longer apply. God uses Jeremiah's actions to show us that there is still hope, even though you might be going through. Despite the losses they would soon experience, God's people could once again return to the promised land that God had guaranteed unto them. Jeremiah's investment in the real estate would someday be of value. We may be facing some devastating circumstances at this time, because if you understood the text, you would know that Jeremiah is dealing with some unpopular circumstances and his people because of their sin. But the purchase and the deed of this land lets us know that there is hope for a brighter future. God has invested in their future through the atoning of the death of Jesus Christ. Aren't you glad that God invested in your future? Despite what you might do, despite what you might say, God put a promise and a plan in place. Then we get to our key verse, where the prophet Jeremiah offers a prayer unto God, and he starts the prayer by saying, O sovereign Lord, you have made the heaven and the earth by your strong hand and powerful arm. Nothing is too hard for you. Jeremiah, he opens this prayer recognizing that there is power, majesty, and authority in the name of God. He makes recognition that he declares that there is nothing too hard for him. Think about it for a second. If God can make the heavens and the earth, if God can put the stars and the moon in place, then he has power to do anything. He could have easily allowed their enemies to have them and take over the land. But God allowed them to purchase the property and to retain tenure, for there is nothing too hard for God. Tell somebody this morning, type in the chat, that there is nothing too hard for God. So this morning, I want to encourage someone that, as the prophet Jeremiah says, that God's hand is great, that God's arm is powerful. And that lets me know that despite what I am dealing with, that God is still in control. Speak to yourself on this morning. I don't care what bill it might be. I don't care what situation it might be. I don't care what you might be enduring. I don't care how it may appear. But tell yourself that there is nothing too hard for God. Jeremiah understands that this situation might be hard for us, that this situation does not even seem plausible or possible. We were in captivity because of what we did. We were in our mess because of how we acted. We were in our place and out of place because of what we might have done. But God, your powerful hand has shown grace and mercy to each and every one of us. So remind yourself on today. I don't care what might be coming your way. I don't care what you might be facing. But just like Jeremiah said in the text, sovereign are you, O Lord. You have made the heavens and the earth. If you pause for just 1 second and think about what the prophet wrote, he said that God, you made the heavens and the earth. So if God can put the world in place, if God can put the water where it's supposed to be, if God can put the sea and the land where it's supposed to be, your light bill ain't nothing to God. Your purchase of your property ain't nothing to God. Your bills ain't nothing to God. For there is nothing too hard for our God. So be encouraged today. I don't care what it might be. Jeremiah said his strong and powerful hand and arm is there for each and every one of you. Somebody just tell somebody in the chat that there is nothing too hard for God. Thank you for tuning into Compassion's Morning Meditation. We are here every day at 7 a.m. Be blessed.